Hey everybody, welcome back to today's what? Today's Wednesday, right? Yeah. Wednesday at VMworld Europe over here. This will be the last vExpert Daily for this year, which is 7 years later. They've added up. So we're really just going to go through a few things. Once again, as usual, I'm Mike Letschin. I'm the field CTO with Nexenta, and I have been doing this for way too long. But the great thing is, every year I get to do this. I get to meet different people. We've had a few people that it's been their first time at VMworld, which was interesting to me. Yeah, I was one of the guys yesterday, first VMworld. We had two guys that was their first VMworld and EMEA on one vExpert Daily.
We still have those.
It's been surprising. So first, as usual, we'll do some introductions, and then we'll kind of just get into the day, the last couple of days, and what to do for the next couple of days. So introduce yourself, let them know kind of who you are, who you work for, how to reach you, because that's always important. Yesterday we did favorite ice cream.
Favorite ice cream?
Yeah, so maybe we'll try that again. That seemed to work out well.
Yeah.
Tony had a good answer, so we'll see if you beat his answer.
Okay. Well, my name is Wouter Kursten. I work for Ditrom in the Netherlands, and you can reach me on Twitter at @magneet_NL. And my favorite ice cream is Smurf.
Smurf?
That's right.
What is Smurf ice cream?
Blue.
Well, I got that part. Is it like blue raspberry? What's the flavor of Smurf ice cream?
No, it's its own flavor. I think you can only get it in the Netherlands.
Should look it up.
A lot of artificial...
Am I the only one that has no idea what Smurf ice cream is?
I've had it. Is it like Blue Moon?
Yeah, I don't. I haven't found anything that compares to it.
That escalated.
Okay, so we have no idea. Okay, moving on. Still no. I'm gonna have to look this up now. Somebody wiki that for me.
Yeah. So the whole vExpert Daily is going to be about Smurf ice?
It might be.
Okay, nice.
I had no idea.
Okay, let me introduce myself. I'm Pascal van der Boer. I work for ITQ. You can reach me via my Twitter handle, pheldorn, or on my blog, Pascal's World, where I blog all about virtualization and mainly a little bit about the EUC stack and some NSX in Power NSX with that. And
So I'm Lior Kamrat. I'm a cloud solution architect for Microsoft, working on Azure stuff. I'm a VCDX 230. You can reach me at Lior Kamrat, and my blog is imallvirtual.com. Ex-VMware, so first time as a Microsoft employee here in VMworld.
And your ice cream? Don't say Smurf.
I gotta go with Snickers.
Snickers. Okay, so I can see that. Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's not too funky.
He went with Neapolitan, so he got all three flavors.
Yeah.
I was like, it's kind of cheating, but we'll give it to him.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll kind of kick right into some of the stuff. Obviously, we've now had two keynotes. Well, we had a keynote and a half. Seeing as we already saw the second half of this keynote 2 weeks ago.
I thought it was a record of 2 weeks ago.
It was almost the exact same thing. Same pizza company, same demos. However, before that, we did get the HCX stuff. So I think the HCX stuff is one of the cooler things we've actually seen out of VMware in a while. I mean, being able to transfer seamlessly into a couple private clouds and actually look like vMotion on it, to me is a pretty cool concept.
Yeah.
Even though it is a bit limited on who you can go to, but of course OVH gets one, IBM Cloud
the
gets
obvious
one.
ones get one.
I mean, I think it was pretty obvious on the limited GA who was going to be there.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think on the whole concept of HCX? Do you think it will be a difference, and who, I guess, do you think it will make a difference for? Is it going to make a difference for big companies only?
I think mainly for the big companies.
So there is a nice migration path I heard about yesterday that if you haven't upgraded, if you put HCX in, you don't need to put NSX on your local side, and it will do the auto migration to 6.5 into the cloud.
Nice.
Okay, then it sounds better.
But it's still enterprise centric, right?
I think it's got to be. I mean,
Like
we haven't seen price points on it. The price points on it aren't even established. I have heard it actually works, though. I know it's been at least demoed to a real customer.
You heard it works.
From a guy that's on the team.
Okay.
Okay.
A guy I trust that actually is on the team working on it. So
We have a trustable source.
yeah, it's a real source. It said it actually does work. And it came up quickly. The fact you don't need NSX on both sides, I think will make a lot of difference.
Yeah,
because they've done so many things recently where it's like, well, if you do this, then you can do this. Great. So I have to re-architect my entire environment with NSX local, and then I can go ahead and do something in the cloud. Thanks.
Yeah, it makes it more available also to the smaller companies that don't run NSX yet.
Yeah, exactly. What do you guys? So do you guys deal primarily smaller companies? You're more large enterprise and cloud, obviously. At this point, yes?
Actually not. Like, I'm working a lot. So yeah, we do have enterprises, but well, I would say 60-75% of my customers are startup. We don't see a lot of VMware deployments in.
Slide over though. They're losing you on camera.
Yeah, we don't see a lot of VMware deployments in those startups. So I'm not seeing a lot of use cases for NSX with those startups. But I'll guess, I don't know if we'll see enterprises want to migrate to AWS. I'll guess they're going to look at VMware and AWS. I'm not sure. We'll see.
So I think small companies are going to be challenged to look at VMware on AWS when it's a 4-cluster minimum and they're significant hosts.
It's definitely pricey.
Yeah, the pricing came out yesterday, and it was something like per host $140,000 or some crazy number a year on a 3-year contract or something like that. Yeah, it was
definitely pricey.
That's not going to be cheap, and they're big hosts for a small business.
Yeah.
Like if it was small hosts, I could see it. I mean, if you're going to have to build infrastructure anyway.
They should have a couple of more gradings in there.
Yeah, it needs some tiering.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you see companies that go, from the get-go with cloud-native stuff, you don't see that. Like, you won't see VMware and AWS in those companies. But yeah, I can see the use case.
The cloud-native companies that go fully cloud-native from the get-go seem rare to me.
Really? You should come to Tel Aviv.
Well, yeah. That's fair. I really don't have an argument for that one at all. But across the board, I mean, so many companies are still running these legacy apps that we're hearing all this stuff. Great, there's all this stuff, you can protect it, you can do the security for the cloud, you can do security around NSX if you want to do microsegmentation. That's great. What do I do with my Exchange server? What do I do with SQL?
Yeah, stuff like that.
I don't think we're seeing anything new there.
And we're seeing applications still coming in 32-bit, single-threaded, crap. Still have those coming in. Yeah,
are we allowed to say crap? Can we do that?
I've said much worse than crap on this.
I just wanna. All right.
Yeah, and you see it coming in. Yeah,
it's only on YouTube. It's fine.
We actually demand physical desktops. They say we don't go VDI. Well, what world are you living in?
So, what is their rationale for they only want physical desktops?
They're stupid.
Okay, that's one rationale. What do you see on that?
I don't see any guys, any organizations going to physical desktops, but
no.
But I see a lot of virtual desktop environments going on-prem or on-premises or whatever you're allowed to call it.
I say on-prem just so I don't get yelled at.
Yeah.
Just so I don't forget which one I'm supposed to say. I just go with on-prem.
That's
or
the
local.
Safe way. Yeah, local.
Yeah. In-house.
In my damn data center.
Yeah.
So that's the same with those kind of organizations that do their virtual desktop in their own data center or on-prem or whatever.
Don't be afraid.
They have a little bit of future going to the cloud and maybe start thinking about that and moving their applications from their own internal data center or the internal networking to the cloud, and then they can go to a cloud offering. But they need somebody to guide them in that path, and not just with technology, but also with strategy and ideas and help them.
Yeah.
So do you think that's the evolution of the guys that have been in this industry a bit, that you're being that strategic advisor more than
that will be something.
A lot of us have been doing this for a while and not as hands-on as we used to be.
No, definitely not.
No, but that's the way to go forward. Technology will evolve naturally.
Well, and everybody tries to make the interfaces simpler and easier, and there's less configuration, so a lot of times you don't need it.
We have network guys using GUIs to set network rules.
Yeah.
Firewall rules. They used to only do it command line.
They used to be very specific on that too. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. When it comes to, so for example, with the desktoping stuff, I actually have a session about that tomorrow.
What time's your session?
9 a.m. So
sorry, guys.
I know. Yeah.
9 a.m. right after the party. It's a rough time slot.
Yeah. We do have 100 registered. Come on. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that I can see VMware started thinking about like consumption-based model for visual desktoping. I don't see a lot of physical desktoping anymore. I'm not seeing any, new stuff around that space. But now, when we are starting to do, think about consumption-based models and try to leverage, the stuff that AWS, Azure, Google will provide them, maybe they will, jump on that opportunity and start doing some really new, cool stuff around that space. So that's one. When it comes to, enterprise application, those kind of things. Well, yeah, they need someone to walk them through the process, but on the other hand, that someone needs to know this stuff, right?
Right.
So when we're talking with, when we're talking with ITs, they have a mandatory evolution that they need to go through, and it takes some time. When you mentioned SQL, Exchange, I haven't seen those in SQL, yeah, but I haven't seen Exchange interface for ages now. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know if I can manage Exchange anymore.
Well, I'm not sure who's using that anymore
No.
when it comes to enterprise. Even the big enterprises are even they're on Google or Outlook or whatever. The obvious choice is to go go up the stack. That's like the. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with VMware. I don't know.
So I think
it's kind of funky.
It has been for a while. So coming from that Microsoft side of things, if realistically Microsoft has pushed to get people that were on Exchange onto Outlook or Office 365 and migrate them into Azure, basically.
Yeah.
SQL, same thing. If they could do it.
Yeah.
Are you seeing much? Well, I'm not seeing much traction from anybody else but Microsoft on how to move a legacy app though into the cloud side. That's really the only I'm not seeing that from VMware.
That's the main difference between, and I'm not trying to be like the Microsoft guy, but I'm just seeing that, as an obvious thing. So Microsoft were born into the enterprise market, right? AWS and Google didn't. So the main differentiation between those it's the fact that Microsoft have the knowledge from the enterprise where AWS are trying to take VMware knowledge from the enterprise and see how that fits into their use cases, right? So it's kind of a funky combination between AWS and VMware. That's why I'm not sure what's going to be there. But with Microsoft, yeah, we can definitely see that. We can definitely come up with some, with some options around that. Definitely.
Well, I think from the Amazon standpoint, doing the VMware thing was a good move for the enterprise, because anyone who's ever tried to play with EC2 or S3 or anything in the 18 different consoles you need to try to do anything on AWS, being able to do something in a VMware single console that everybody wants to see and being able to just put that, I'm sitting on there. Even if it is dedicated gear that just happens to be sitting in Amazon's data center.
They might be getting the admin stamp of approval.
Yeah, because right now Amazon's not easy to manage. To me, it doesn't feel enterprise ready when I'm dealing with EC2 at all. Not when you try to start giving out rights and stuff.
And for the organizations also, they're used to like for example, they have the VMware vSphere hypervisor in their own data center, and you want to go to a cloud offering and then go to EC2 or something. It's completely different. It's out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So if you have something that has a familiar interface, that's not a big barrier, and that's the same with Microsoft also being in the enterprise.
I won't buy it.
It's not for a lot of organizations, this is not a big step then to go to a complete different offering of a cloud service.
Yeah, but you need to remember you need to remember that AWS is not built for VMware administrators, right?
No, not
it's
at all.
not.
No.
It's not. Like when AWS came out, it was mainly for for applications, developers, those kind of use cases. And if you work with their APIs or with Azure APIs or Google APIs, you will see it's much more comfortable to work with those when it comes to working with real life cycle of application with the VMware stack. It's not the same. It's really not the same. So just need to remember that.
So the nice thing is when we come to these shows, there's obviously a lot of vendors that are sitting in the other room here.
Yeah.
Were there anybody that jumped out or that you think will help with some of these? There's some companies, I don't know how there's still companies in there. How is thin print still a thing?
I have no idea.
I honestly, I need to actually go by and see what they're doing now, because
Probably the same from 10 years ago.
how is it a thing?
There still isn't.
We have a driver to print with VDI now. We can do this.
You know what we noticed? So we talked about that in the bloggers lounge. I think yesterday. Cisco is not here. Cisco are not here. I haven't seen those. Like,
Yeah,
have you seen Cisco?
No.
No.
Nope.
Which is kind of, it's kind of surprising. And you saw Nutanix is much smaller.
Nutanix is smaller.
Yeah. And they are in the back. Which is kind of,
Nexenta didn't come. I'm the only one here. We didn't put a booth up, and we've always done a booth of these.
Yeah.
Am I missing Tintry as well?
Tintry should be here. Is Tintry here?
Yeah, they have like a
Then I missed him.
large spider kind of boot.
I was saying,
They
Tintry
can
was
suck you in. Yeah.
That would be weird if Tintry wasn't.
Yeah. I was kind of disappointed that I just haven't seen Docker or GitHub or those guys. I haven't
So they
seen,
were
I saw
US.
Puppet, I didn't saw Chef, I didn't saw Ansible, I didn't saw SaltStack, I didn't saw any of those guys. Terraform, HashiCorp, I didn't saw any of those guys.
I'm used to seeing a lot more small startup-y type companies
They're
here.
a bit to the right now, but they
And
might
there's
have had...
not as many, I feel, this one. Normally, there's way more little startups in EMEA than there are in the US. And it feels like it flipped.
Yeah,
this
it
year.
might be because the VM worlds are so close together. They need to
Yeah.
get the stuff and get it over here in time.
Maybe.
And cost-wise, they put both VMworlds in the same quarter.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
need, I don't...
That's a good point.
That's a tough financial decision to make
Yeah.
when you're a marketing department pushing off
definitely.
payments on, I think.
About the money.
And it was close. This was close. Doing both, because I did both, and it's a quick turnaround. And I didn't have to bring gear, and it was a quick turnaround. So I can't imagine these guys that were trying to ship gear over
I
here.
have heard you will have some more time next year,
Oh, well, let's hope so.
November.
We'll see.
I heard, I heard push into November as well.
Yeah.
I heard here still, though.
Yeah, just that.
What are you guys thinking? So we've been here for 5 years, another year in Barcelona?
It's my first time in EMEA, so
Okay.
Yeah, it would be nice to have a little different.
Go someplace else?
come to Amsterdam next year.
Maybe not.
They always say that it's too big, they can't take it too many places.
Well, I remember
show's
it was in
not that big.
Copenhagen.
Yeah.
Copenhagen.
Yeah.
Go back to Copenhagen. Go to Istanbul. I don't care. Go someplace other than here.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it's good for the soccer fans.
Yeah.
Well, that was nice.
Yeah, at the time, the soccer. I'm not into soccer, but
Either am I, but I went to the game last night anyway, just for the experience of it.
Yeah, how was
and
it?
it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, 90,000 people in a stadium is pretty impressive.
All right.
But you got the interesting football clubs all over Europe, so
Yeah,
fair point.
you can change it to.
I was in
Italian
Amsterdam during World
competition.
Cup when they were playing one time, so
Oh, nice.
that was fun.
Nice. Yeah.
So nobody really jumping out on all the vendors in there?
I saw Stratoscale. I don't know if you know those guys. So I don't know if you know Stratoscale. They're doing like AWS on-prem, which sounds kind of interesting, especially me coming from VMware and coming from Microsoft, and we have Azure Stack and all those kind of stuff, and they're doing pretty much like trying to do the same with AWS on-prem, like extension of AWS. You should go check it out. It's like
Stratoscale. Okay.
Stratoscale. Yeah.
Seeing a couple that are doing, we're grabbing storage from AWS and from that cloud, and we put that in one interface. I present that to our customer or something. I've seen a couple doing that.
Yeah.
Not remember the name exactly, but it was in front. And,
That was why I was asking about the one. Comprise was in the US, that they're not here.
yeah.
And they do a really good storage analytics tool that will also then offload stuff to S3,
Yeah.
with leaving just stubs.
To be completely honest, I'm tired of all this storage stuff. Like,
Well,
I'm
it became
kinda
a
tired of
storage
it.
show for a while.
Yeah, I'm kind of tired of it. Like, I'm trying to see if anyone will do something excited around that space. Because at the end of the day,
There's only so many things
it's just
you need.
blocks, it's just disk. You consume that, that's it, move on. I'm trying to understand what's the point. Like,
No point.
It's all on what that extra layer you put on top. That 10% extra layer is the
if you will,
differentiator. with all
if
these
you will talk
companies.
about, how you automate those stuff, how you're trying to make those more consumable, yeah, I understand. But if you're still talking about with this, we're doing this, and that, IOPS and latency and throughput and those kind of stuff, and we have this, and that, yeah, that's all right. But
If I'm
The
sitting
guy
in a
next door
sto-
also has it.
yeah,
if I'm sitting in a storage booth and the guy starts off with this is how many IOPS I can do, I'm
you see?
walking away.
That's what. That's what I'm talking about. I know.
So for a while we've been hearing, obviously it's been storage, but then we've heard obviously for hyperconverged with Nutanix and whoever else, SimpliVity, whoever else along the way. NetApp-ish.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gabe.
Where is it?
He's here supposedly. I haven't seen him at all. They got in 2 days ago.
He might be running away from you.
Is there anything tech-wise that has popped out over the last couple of days that you think somebody should pay attention to?
If we go back to the solution exchange, NVIDIA with their live
grid.
vMotion of the
Yeah,
grid
that's
of
nice.
the vGPU.
Okay.
So it
From the EUC part, that's awesome.
For the EUC part, it's awesome to can live migrate a desktop. Yeah, not during the day, because you hit your users with some performance penalties. But if you have like an emergency maintenance, then it's really cool to be able to move your desktops from that host with the vGPU cards to another host with the same vGPU without any downtime. That's great for NVIDIA.
That's a big improvement.
For VDI or for RDSH. For EUC, it's great to have that opportunity. Maybe not all the use cases will fit, because like I said, you impact your user. So if there's an engineer going on in this application and you start moving him around, yeah, he's going to suffer. So maybe not all use cases, but then it's technically possible now. So that's a good thing.
So what percentage of the EUC side of things do you see that really need that? That even need the GPU acceleration?
If you do VDI, you will need it more and more, because with Windows 10, you can do the onboard CPU, GPU, but that doesn't work. It needs more graphics power now.
It's kind of interesting, because when you see EUC use cases, right? You see VDI use cases. So you used to think about, I don't know, like AutoCAD and SolidWorks, those kind of stuff. Like that's what they tell you, right?
Right. Yeah. But that's not a huge segment. Not every company does AutoCAD.
Yeah, that's correct. So I'm not talking about the back office, like simple stuff. I'm talking about like the more complex use cases. So if you look at those and you see how that can move into a consumption-based model, again, leveraging public cloud capabilities, to me it makes more sense to start thinking about GPU more closely. If you're looking at like from the on-premises side of things, I don't know. It's like, I'll give you your desktop and that's it, and I'm not going to move it. But public cloud, yeah, that's a bit different. So
right,
the GPU stuff, the
like
GPU stuff are kind of interesting when it comes to the public segment. Yeah. Sorry, it's a public cloud. Yeah.
So we've only got a few more minutes to wrap up here. So one of the things I always like to do when we're wrapping these up here is is there, for the people who are just watching and haven't made it out to VMworld, or what would you say is the thing they should do to be able to still get use of the show? Is it do the labs? Is it watch some specific sessions? Wow, if I could talk this morning, that would help.
Yeah,
helps when you're monitoring a panel if you can talk.
Yeah.
Anything that you think they should do, different ways to contact the mayors, what would we'll go down the line, and what piece of advice you'd give people that aren't able to be here?
Yeah, do some labs, watch the videos, they're on YouTube now, so that's awesome. And just try to get there. It's awesome. We did a hackathon this week, so
okay, the hackathon was one we were going to touch on, and we'll hit it kind of quickly. You guys both participated in hackathon.
Yeah, we were on the same team.
How would you describe what the hackathon was to people? So if maybe that's a reason that they can justify making it next year.
We had people in there who hardly had any programming experience. We had them come in. We taught them how to use PowerShell, use PowerShell against RiserView in my team. He was in my team as well, and they managed to make some scripts and managed to make contact and they learned heaps from it.
It's community.
Yeah,
working together.
That's the biggest part.
Working together with.
What are you doing, Wade? Come on. This is why we can't have nice things. Wait.
Working together with the community, being a part of the community, having fun, having good ideas, and working on that good ideas. That's what the hackathon was about for me. I think the same thing for the question, if you're not there for VMworld, how can you consume what's in VMworld? You can look at the community. They have their Twitters, they have the blogs, they pull out their interesting stuff. You might get drowned a bit in the information, but that's a good starter to go through.
Yeah, definitely.
And from the community, you can go to the online stuff, so the online sessions or the online hands-on labs to consume even more. But do it at steps. Don't drown in that.
Don't try to dive all in. Don't dive in the deep end.
No.
Yeah. So I tweeted yesterday that even though I'm not doing VMware stuff for the past 2 years, this is still my people. Like the community stuff are, if you are involved within the community, it's great chance to, put faces into the Twitter handles. That's the most important and probably the fun part of this entire event. The sessions are great. I saw some of the sessions are good. I'm just saying that the community part of things.
It's like a big family reunion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
definitely,
It is like
yeah.
a big
That's the
family
greatest
reunion.
thing about this
Yeah.
place.
Meeting people
Yeah.
I've been talking to on Twitter for years, and I finally get to put that face to it.
Okay. Well, I think we are just about out on time. So thank you guys for joining me for
Thank
the
you,
last
Pascal.
vExpert Daily of the year here. And thank you guys. Remember, we've got a bunch more sessions coming up here for vBrownBag. And then make sure you see them on YouTube later and enjoy the rest of the show.